let's quickly look at our next matchup. Oh, the power of
HRE
giants.
versus Byzantines. All right, so Valdemar with the HRE, Dragevann with the Byzantines. Both of those two civilizations are being hailed as like the strongest ones on like in the pro level area. HRE by far like having the plus 40% economic bonus, able to not just play fast castle anymore, but with the marching drills now also being a top feudal age civilization. Meanwhile, on the other hand side, we got the Byzantines with their explosive burst of military units through the mercenary system that they've got.
I'm absolutely excited to see how these two giants face off against one another. I've been trying to figure out how to play this matchup from both sides because I struggle both ways. And I just think the fast castle is such a normal thing that we see from both these civilizations, but I don't feel like Dragevann is the kind of guy who's gonna go for a fast castle. He's more of a, I have a
two ways
surprise.
to play this. So if you see that HRE is going fast castle, I think going for the cache contract and your own fast castle is really, really good as Byzantines. Not only can you put pressure on your opponent, you can like sort of also block the fast relic grab with the caches. If your opponent's going for feudal age engagement, so once you see the age up coming in from the HRE and you see them having like 6, 7, 8 villagers on wood, you know, okay, it's going to be feudal age. That's when you can tell, okay, now I need to make something like longbows or javelin contract. That way you can hold in feudal age. If your opponent has like 4 or 5 on gold with the age up, you know, okay, it's going to be castle age. I need to get the caches out. I need to get my own fast castle age, and I want to deny those relics from my opponent.
Okay, so there are more ways to cook this cake. And I do see Valdemar and Dragevann being ferociously ready to fight this battle, both of them looking very serious. And we do hear that noise from the sheep. So guys, we're about to head into our next game.
That's right, game number 4. This is gonna be it. Match point for Valdemar. Can he close it out, or can Dragevann claw his way back into this series? We'll see right now, as we're gonna be moving over to Gorge with Dragevann on the Byzantines and Valdemar playing as the Holy Roman Empire.
Now, I'm actually quite surprised to see Dragevann open with 2 scouts. Now, guys, usually when you do this, it's either because you need a lot of sheep or because you want to deny your opponent from sheep. So that is the one thing about the HRE. They're a very, very hungry civilization, and they do not like going out on the map for their resources, especially against a civilization like Byzantines. So him going for that double scout is just going to deny sheep from Valdemar. So even though Byzantines is not a very I need sheep civilization, they are going to benefit from this just purely by denying Valdemar from those.
Yeah,
but
it looks like Dragevann had great success with that sheep scouting here so far, because now Valdemar, he's going along the route that Dragevann already was on. Granted, he did actually find one sheep that Dragevann must have skipped over. Interesting enough. Okay, Dragevann though overall should be having a very sizable sheep lead here.
Now, keeping in mind that those berries are very far forward, it depends on what Valdemar's choice is here. Is he going to be the aggressive one, or is he going to let Byzantines live its best life and just boom? Boom, 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 boom. Ooh.
I think we can already tell by the way how Valdemar positioned his Archon Chapel, mostly focusing it on the wood and on the food that he's got, instead of putting it forward. There's also another wood line there, so in theory he could have put it forward to boost up the wood there, the gold, and the food under his TC still. This kind of tells us, okay, this is going to be more of a feudal age game plan here from him. So we'll probably see a lot of aggression. I think he probably scouted out the berries and was like, okay, forward berries means I go attack.
That is a very, very smart way to play. And guys, this is why we have top-notch casters like Krakety, who just understands every single move a man will make. And now...
Actually, never mind, he didn't see the berries.
Oh,
but he still makes the choice that he wants to attack.
Well, he had the intuition. He must have known in his mind.
The deer told him the berries are forward.
Oh, and those pesky deer, they tell the stories of all the civs. Now, we do see Dragevann with 3 on gold. Pretty standard, getting those upgrades. You want to be able to get that wheelbarrow pretty early on. But the usual farm opening not being chosen. So I'm quite surprised. He's just going to go straight into military the moment he hits that Grand Winery age up. So, Valdemar on the other side, I'm excited to see what he puts out first, because I've been enjoying my Byzantine archers, but against my HRE archers, but against
That's quite a hard sell. Now the question is, what contract do we go for?
You can
It's gonna be a while, I feel like, for the contract. Right now, once you see Dragevann dropping down a stable, because he needs the horsemen right now in order to deal with this. The spearmen are gonna be a little bit delayed, but you need the horsemen in order to buy yourself a little bit of time. You can't open up with Limit May. You don't want to open up with archers because you want to get your range unit from your olive oil contract, from your mercenary contract. And it is gonna be, it looked like you first want to go for a mercenary school, but he did delete that and is now gonna be going for the stable. First spearman is gonna be in queue though, so he doesn't have that great of a timing because he hasn't even queued up his first horseman yet.
And I love this from Valdemar. That first archer, usually you do not send your little unit alone, but he knows there's no way that Dragevann is ready to face this. And just pushing that Byzantines off of the berries, that is going to be so important. Even if he loses this archer, he's already gotten quite a bit of value, just causing a little bit of idle time and ensuring that those villages are slightly harmed. So when the raids do come, they're going to be really tough to deal with. But those spearmen, the spearman arrives, and they are going to be safe from that first horseman popping out. Dragevann hasn't queued up another one. He's not really drowning in the food just yet. But Valdemar, we can see he's already got 8 military supply.
Yeah, now with double archers, you're gonna be hard-pressed of keeping your villagers alive on those berries. Second spearman now also coming in, and Valdemar, he's just gonna be fully sending it onto those berries right now. Dragevann, he's still quite a bit away of being able to go for his own mercenaries, and this is the issue right now that he's got. He's never gonna be able to match the pace of army creation that's coming out from the HRE with that 40% economic bonus.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about Byzantines is that olive oil, and when you're pushed off of the olive oil, there's no next choice. We're getting to a point where he needs to find a way to get berries, or he needs to find a way to gather from farms, but there's just no choice. There's no way that he gets any resources to just make anything. And right now, with those archers standing right there, he's going to be denied from gold as well. He's going to, that's stable, if it pops out anything, they're going to be harmed along the way. We do see that farm being plopped down just for a little bit of desperate olive oil. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just drags his villagers down and goes into another sneaky spot to get a little bit of oil.
Yeah, he has the berries on two sides of his map, right? On the left side, on the right side, at the bottom side there, that he could, in theory, sneak out just a couple of villagers to in order to get that olive oil. He's already got 360 olive oil in the bank. He just needs like 100 now if he wants to go for javelin throws, and I would recommend javelin throws at this point in the game because your opponent is also going to be going for men-at-arms with this, and men-at-arms just also take a bit more damage from those javelin throws than from the longbows.
And this is the awful position to be in if you're playing Byzantines. When you're making archers, you know you are not in a good position. Even in a matchup like this, these are desperate archers. These are not archers of victory, archers of push, archers of pressure. They're archers of desperation because I've got wood, I've got food, but I've got nothing to make with them. So let's make an archer. And the stable going down, this is just going to limit Dragevann's choices so much more. He's got 500 or 600 food, and he's got no way of spending it because right now he's on the sheep. He's on 400 olive oil, but he's just nowhere near getting other units. He doesn't even have enough for another production building.
Yeah,
and
so
what is the answer?
Dragevann hasn't even tried going out to any other oil source so far, so that's... I'm not quite sure what his plan is actually right now. He needs to get olive oil one way or the other. Right now, villagers on the edge there, has to be careful outside of the TC range. They're gonna be vulnerable.
And Valdemar just putting that pressure down, he knows what he needs to deny. If you're playing against Byzantines, you just deny the oil. That's exactly what he's doing. Every farming bit that Dragevann gets is a little edge closer to getting a nice little spicy unit that he doesn't want to deal with. But at this rate, Valdemar just has so many units, he can take any fight. And we do see that he's getting his first upgrade as well. So Dragevann is most likely, he's about to get cooked.
Yeah, he does finally have at least he's getting close to having enough olive oil for his first batch of mercenaries. Question's gonna be what that will be. Double archer range out now from him. At least he does have that in the cistern influence, so the archers will get produced relatively fast. He has a lot of food floating, so I would personally love to see him just putting a lot more villagers over on wood right now in order to truly be able to maximize that archer production.
Now, what's very unique about this map is that once your army is on the one side, it takes quite a while to move to the other side. So he does move his villagers away, try to get a little bit of safe wood on the other side, but this is not the optimal position for them to be in. He's got 900 food right now. That idle time is so invaluable because right now Dragevann just doesn't have an answer.
He's also moving in a precarious spot with his military. The military from HRE is just faster, straight up faster. So you can't be out of position ever. If you're getting caught, you're going to lose a lot of your military behind this. Valdemar farm transition is coming in. The HRE with their plus 40% gathering, just being able to do such a smooth farm transition, but also having double the military of the Byzantines out there. And Dragevann, it looks like he put a mercenary school next to a neutral market because he's got Sapahi in the queue.
And I mean, this is just the type of play we expect to see from Dragevann. He's trying to do something so creative and so crazy it might actually work. But I just don't know if he's ever going to have enough Sapahi to take down this crazy HRE army.
He's got 1,400 resources in the bank right now that he's just unable to use at the moment. So much food, and it's feeling pretty hard for him to really mass any significant units. We're now seeing double stable getting dropped, as barracks getting dropped in as well. And that more production buildings also coming out from Valdemar. Villager getting sniped. That's the second villager so far that has been sniped by the archers from Valdemar. And every little bit hurts. You're already behind when it comes to the pure gather rate compared to the HRE.
And this is Valdemar's game. Right now he's getting his +1 range defense as well, so we know he's planning to make this a lot harder and TC diving, I would say. These horses also just causing a little bit of, I would say, idle time. Villagers are a little bit spooked, but they do go back to work, and the archers are firing away. Valdemar, he's just attacking from two sides, causing Dragevann to split his attention as well, and they're just looking at sniping another one.
Yep.
Another one about the dust.
And behind that, oh my god, even more villagers going down. And Valdemar, he has got the blacksmith upgrades. Dragevann, he hasn't been on gold for quite a while. He can't afford them.
And him getting those 3 horses at the back, that's very, very valuable. Valdemar doesn't want to lose his units now, but he's in a spot to do so. He just isn't that afraid. But now you guys can see that the army has slowed down a little bit because of the farm transition, but he looks to like this fight. Remember, he's got the upgrades.
Getting sniped rather effectively by the archers here. Limit in there to tank as well for the front line. Archers did get hung up a little bit on the men-at-arms. They don't do a lot of damage against them there, since they're also just lacking the blacksmith upgrades. Sapahi are going to be able to push out there. And this might buy Dragevann a little bit of breathing room. Should be pulling his villagers now over onto the berries to make maximum use of that. Valdemar just falling back to his reinforcements. The danger is still on.
It doesn't feel like the cleanest fight for Valdemar, but keeping in mind that his farm transition is done, he's just going to keep pumping out units. And Valdemar is just the 1-2 push. He's just going to reinforce, and yes, there are Sapahis, yes, there are horses, but they're not going to last forever.
Yeah, especially without the Pierce Armor upgrade. Sapahi Fortitude activated, so a lot of attack speed coming in for them. But still, no Pierce Armor upgrade, and with that, the archers are going to be able to make easy pickings of them. And there's, at the end of the day, no military remaining for Dragevann, and this is going to be looking very, very spooky now for him. 10 military compared to 25, but Valdemar has got the farm transition fully finished. He can just keep pumping.
I mean, look at all those farms. They are beautifully placed. He's even got a tower there to protect the villagers if danger ever arrives. But I don't think Dragevann has any danger to offer right now. He doesn't seem to realize how dire this situation could be with these archers. They're just looking at sniping. Every single time they snipe something, they're actually just killing something so much more valuable because Dragevann doesn't have a transition down yet. His farms are exposed. These archers are just going to snipe villages if the farms get too far out. And the olive oil, 17 per minute. And he's also floating 700 wood right now. He's plopping down a few things with that wood, but he's going to need to plop down a miracle right now.
Yeah, he's finally started getting gold, but still no blacksmith. Blacksmith only just now coming up, so the upgrades haven't even been clicked yet. 5 villagers behind. Farm transition fully done for Valdemar. Dragevann running out of food. 200 food per minute compared to 1,000 from Valdemar. And the military count doubling what Dragevann has on the field right now. And I feel like this constricting motion from Valdemar right now is gonna, in the end, lead to a victory. Dragevann, though, doesn't want to surrender quite yet. This is his tournament stay here in the King of the North on the line. Match point for Valdemar. If he loses this, he's out.
And he's put up such a good fight, but I just don't think this is good enough. You could see how desperately he wanted to get that blacksmith down. He knows he needs to find a way to kill these men-at-arms, but now you have a 9 men-at-arms, 30 archers at your front door, and I'm just waiting for Valdemar to plop down a ram or two, but this man doesn't need no ram. He just needs more units. And we can see the macro from Valdemar is absolutely immaculate. He's spending every single bit of resource that he has, just making sure that he has more units. So Valdemar, Dragevann on the other side, he's just floating the wood right now. He doesn't have any way to spend that right now, but they're diving. They're dying.
Yeah, Dragevann, he probably want to hope for an overcommitment from Valdemar, but this does not feel like an overcommitment, more like a controlled, calculated dive onto the economy from Dragevann. Military units going down, men-at-arms tanking up the blunt force, 11 men-at-arms are out already, able to tank up a lot of the archer fire from the TC, more villagers going down on the retreat, but these archers have additional movement speed, able to catch up to those archers, to those villagers, and with that, it feels like game is gonna be over any moment soon. More and more villagers going down there, and there it is. GG is getting called. Valdemar is gonna be able to make it forward in our second chance bracket.
And this means that Valdemar is going to finally have a shot at playing, I believe, Kiljardi in the next round.
Is it gonna be Kiljardi? Because he already played against Kiljardi.
Oh, yes.
It should be it's getting flipped around. It's getting flipped around in the second chance bracket.
Oh, so he needs to pull out some spicy plays, though, because Valdemar, while he won this is not an easy match for him following up on this. Dragevann is first performance at a tournament, and I mean, he did what he could. You can see he's a little bit disappointed in how this went, but I'm sure we'll be seeing more of this kid.
100%, 100%.